Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. How are you? I'm just drinking up on my New Zealand IPA. See if we can get a look at that. It's not too bad. It's looking pretty good. Good carbonation. And I guess I will point out that, well, yeah, it's clear. And you know, you see a lot of home brewers, and they'll say, "Oh, I don't mind drinking homebrew that's not clear." You know, I mean, you know, it's still good, right? I don't taste the difference. It might be cloudy, but that's okay. Oh, it's just chill haze, or you know, it's just it's a hazy beer. It still tastes good, and I'm sure it does. But they definitely never ever hesitate to point out when they've actually, you know, got to the bottom of their keg and it is clear finally. And I get clarity like this after just a couple days before I start to drink it. So how do I get that? I use gelatin, to be honest. Works really well for me. Basically, how do I do it? I take 3/4 cup of water. I'll go ahead and put in a teaspoon of gelatin, non-flavored of course. You can buy it at your grocery store. A lot of the brew shops sell them as well, the gelatin. Teaspoon of that in water, and I'll let it sit there for about 5 minutes. Stir it up, let it set for 5 minutes. You'll see it gets a little bit thick. And then what I'll do from that point is I'll put it in the microwave for about a minute, and the goal is to get it up to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. 150 degrees Fahrenheit, no more. So if it takes like a minute and 15 seconds to get your water to that point, you know, go ahead and test it ahead of time. Get it to 150 degrees, take it out of the microwave, stir it up, then it's going to be back to the water consistency. It's going to be clear. From that point, if you're going to go and put it into a cold keg that's been sitting in the refrigerator for 24 hours after you kegged up your beer from the fermenter, if it's cold, then you can go ahead and pour that straight into the fermenter. But if you're going to pour it into like a secondary, for example, then you're going to want to cool that down first to room temperature, and then pour that into your secondary. Let it sit there for a few days. You'll see all of the stuff settle out, and your beer will clear. Now, the way that I do it, I don't put it into the secondary because it's best if you cold crash the beer first. Cold crash it every time, and that will help actually crash all of the haze-causing proteins from chill haze. Right? So basically, you chill your beer to get rid of the chill haze. What you want to do is be able to stick your fermenter into the refrigerator, bring it down as close as you can to about 1 degrees. Now, my fridge, I put it in there, it's only at 9 degrees. So to come down to 9 degrees, but if you can bring it down lower to 1 degrees, that would be best. Keep it there for at least 3 days. 7 days is probably best. And then you can put in your gelatin then, clarify it even more, or you can just go ahead and go from your secondary or your fermenter, if it's primary, from your fermenter into the keg. Chill your keg overnight for 24 hours, then put the gelatin in there, and then just wait a couple days, keg up your beer, or carb up your beer. I have carved up my beer as soon as after I put in the gelatin. So put in the gelatin, seal it all up, turn on the CO2, let it carb up, taste in 3 days, and it's clear. The first glass that you'll get out is a little bit, you'll have some gummy jello in it, which is what the gelatin becomes. And, you know, that's okay. Just take a half a glass, a first glass, you'll get a little bit of chunks in it. It's just basically clearing out around the tube, and then from that point on, it's just clear beer. So I've been enjoying this, well, ever since I started using kegs. So I've had great experience with it, and you can too. Cheers. So I sent out some beer mail this week to 3 lucky folks. I hope they think they're lucky. Maybe after they taste the beer they won't feel so lucky. So, of course, HomeBrew69 sent him out some beers. Sent out same 3 beers to CQ01, and also sent out the same 3 beers to HomeBrew Brewery. So basically, a couple in the UK and one in the Netherlands. So I know that HomeBrew and CQ have got theirs, and Glenn, I know that yours has at least reached the Netherlands. So hopefully you'll get it in the next day or 2. So yeah, looking forward to see what you guys think about that. Lower your expectations a little bit, because, you know, I'm still breaking this puppy in. It's still new to me, so still getting acquainted with it and learning the ins and outs and all that. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I'm happy to share it with you. So I got a couple questions after I sent those beers out about how I filled them. And basically I said that I used the counter pressure filler in order to fill them. People seem sort of interested in that. You know, I've got the Blickman kettles, I've got the Blickman Therminator, I've got the Blickman hop filter, things like that. But maybe I've got, I don't have the Blickman bottle filler yet. So instead, you know, I used what I had. And of course everybody talks about using a racking cane. So I used a racking cane, just like this one. Now, a lot of the people, they go out and buy the number 2 stopper, rubber stopper or something like that, to put onto the racking cane so that they can put that into the bottle and use that to work out the pressure. I didn't find one. I went to like 3 homebrew shops and they were all sold out. So what do? Well, like any other resourceful redneck, I went out and got some duct tape. So it's kind of ghetto. It's very sort of, as they say here in Norway, hurry. It's very redneck. So I just used some duct tape actually. Rolled that around there, and I forced in my picnic tap on the top. Put that into the beer bottle. Open up the picnic tap, and just sort of let the air sort of build up, so I don't let any of the air out at first, and then slowly move the racking can around so that I let the air out slowly. I've seen some other fancy ones out there that are using like a tennis ball filler, the air attachment, so that you can just use your thumb to let out. You can just use your finger to let out the air. I don't find that really necessary. It's a cheap solution until I get something better, and it just works. The beers that I sent over to HomeBrew, CQ, and Glenn, this is what I used in order to fill those bottles. So I'll be interested to see how the carbonation goes for you guys. Yeah, I look forward to seeing that. Well, that's all I've got for you guys this week. Hope you guys are having a happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers.